In our everyday movement, the maximum load is taken by our legs, and most often the weakest joint is the knees. Usha is going to show us today how to strengthen the knees so that we don't have problems like arthritis later in life, right?
Quite right. In fact, your knee joint, you'll often find that the muscles which support it are very often not strong enough. So half the work of the asana is just to strengthen all your muscles that surround the knee joint.
And how is it that they get weak in the first place?
Actually, the muscles which are not used very often, that's a funny thing to say considering that you use your legs to walk all the time.
Right.
But we are not necessarily strengthening the muscles when we walk. We are just using them. And often there are lots of blockages and things that happen around the knee joint, which is why we have pain in the knees or the muscles behind the knee joint.
Right.
Those are the ones which really need
And isn't
to
it true that half the time when we do things like jogging and running, when we pick the wrong surfaces, then we actually weaken the knees?
Yes, very much so. In fact, every time your foot impacts a hard surface,
right,
then the knee also gets the shock. So if you constantly keep giving the knee that shock without strengthening its muscles which are around it, after a period of time the muscles become weaker and the knee joint just becomes painful.
So yoga, better than any other exercise, will make sure your knees are strong at the same time, right?
The postures which you do in yoga which hold the knee in a particular position, those postures really strengthen up that knee muscle. Alright? So let's start with a very nice dynamic movement to strengthen the knee joint.
Okay.
Alright, you have to stand up and slowly bend down with your knees bent. Place your palms on the ground, and then what you're doing is you're moving your hips up and down while you're stretching the muscles of the knee joint. Alright, as you keep doing this, you'll feel very distinct pain just behind the knee joint.
Right.
Right? Alright, you can sit down.
And your knees tremble whenever you try these things.
Yeah. So what you're doing at that very moment is there's a lot of load on the knee joint and the muscle surrounding.
Right.
So when you're moving it up and down, that whole muscle is getting a tremendous workout. I'm now going to show you an asana which stretches the exact muscles that hold up your knee joint.
Okay.
Alright? So the asana goes like this. Take your fingers, interlock them, place them on your sole and start stretching up your leg. When you do this, you'll find that all the muscles behind the knee joint, these muscles, start becoming really taut and really go into a little bit of pain. So initially you may be flexible only up to here, in which case you have to keep practicing and slowly you'll be right here. When you can hold your leg like this, your knee muscles have really become strong.
So what's the main flexibility required to pull your leg up straight? It's all in the knees.
It's the knee, the muscles joining up with your knee.
It's elusive because you might think that it has to do with your arms and whether they can stretch or not.
Yes, very often people say my arms are not long enough. Yeah. But it's really your muscles which are the hamstring and the calf muscle which join up with the knee joint. So they're very minor muscles also. These get a nice stretch with that posture which I just showed you.
Right.
Let's now do a posture for strengthening these muscles which you can hold for a long period of time.
Okay.
Okay. It's called Utkat Asana and is very powerful in strengthening your knee joint. So you're basically sitting like on your ankles and you're keeping your hands here.
I remember doing this in school.
This posture is really good for the knee joint. There's a lot of pressure on the knees.
Right.
And you can also do this by placing the heels on the ground. So place the heels. Very
like
often
this?
you will see a villager or someone sitting like this and talking to each other.
Yeah.
And right, that's a lot of strength in the knee joint. So you can come down now.
It's a bit of a punishment almost. But yeah, you can definitely feel a very strong
lots of load on the knee.
Right.
Right?